Hello everyone, good evening. I hope I am clearly audible and visible to all of you. Please write once in the chat box whether I am clearly audible and visible or not, so that we can start today's session where we will talk about Rohingyas, which are there in news majorly in because of expulsion from the region of West Bengal, and they are there on the border of Bangladesh, and there also they are stuck, and there are issues which are going on. Audible? Right, great, super. So, firstly, when we talk about why it is in news, why this issue was in news. So, in today's newspaper also, in today's article also, in Indian Express, in the Hindu, you can see there is a talk about Rohingyas or few Bangladeshi and Myanmar ke Muslims getting stranded on the borders of West Bengal and Bangladesh. They are leaving West Bengal, they tried to enter Bangladesh, but now this news escalated when Bangladesh did not accept the arrival of these people. Bangladesh is not liking that these people are going there, and they are the Bangladeshi border guards, the Bangladeshi border guarding forces. They have blocked the entry of these people, and because of that, these people are not able to go to Bangladesh, not allowed to stay in India, not going back to their country of origin, Myanmar, and they are stranded. So technically, United Nations called Rohingyas as one of the world's most prosecuted minorities, one of the world's biggest stateless group. And that's why it is very important to understand the story of Rohingya people, right? That's why it is very important to understand the story of Rohingya people. Now, let's start with why it is in news. So, as I said, there is a reverse exodus from West Bengal after intensified anti-infiltration detention measures targeting Rohingyas and Bangladeshis. So there are a lot of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and from Myanmar in the region of West Bengal, and after coming up of BJP government, this movement is going on to, you can say, send back these Bangladeshi and Rohingya Muslims. Now that's why this is called as reverse exodus. Why reverse exodus? Because these Rohingya people, they did not come on their own from Myanmar to India. They were forced to come out of Myanmar, and then they found a place in India. इनको वहां से निकाल दिया गया था, भगा दिया गया था. That's why they came to India. Now India is again throwing them away. So it is a reverse exodus which is happening of these people. West Bengal government opened holding centers in Malda, Murshidabad and North 24 Pargana, where 143 people are detained on May 2028 according to Indian Express. So because Bangladesh ने भी अपनी border को block कर दिया, we are trying to send them to Bangladesh. Bangladesh ने यहाँ पे security लगा दी, so there is no option to sending them here. There is no option of keeping them here. So we are creating holding areas, kind of places where we can keep these people. So there are 143 people in the holding areas. Bangladesh border guards raised objections to pushback. People taken to BSF camps near Hakimpur instead. So Hakimpur हो गया, Murshidabad हो गया, North 24 Parganas, Malda. There they are creating some camps where these people are now residing. The BJP government is saying to detect, delete and deport these people. The first BJP government in West Bengal since 1947 is saying detect the Bangladeshis, detect the Rohingyas, delete them and deport them from India. So this is the policy that they are saying. They are saying the people who are protected under CAA will not be deported, but those who are not covered under CAA, they will be deported. What exactly is CAA and who are protected? That also I will tell in some time. And there is a debate over the policy of non-refoulement, which India is not following. Now, what is non-refoulement? That also we will see. तो ये broad perspective है on what are the things that we are going to cover, and the story starts with understanding who exactly are Rohingya people. कौन है ये रोहिंग्या, यहाँ से ये कहानी स्टार्ट होती है. And to begin the story, let me know in the chat box क्या यहाँ तक सब कुछ क्लियर है, and if everything is clear, वहां से यहाँ तुरंत आगे पढ़ा रहा हो तो लाइक तो बनता है. So like the session, and then we will begin with the history of Rohingyas. All clear till here? Great, super. Now, here we understand first the history of Rohingya people. Now, they are originally the people of Myanmar, right? They are originally the people of Myanmar. They live in the western Myanmar, in the area which is called as Arakan State or Rakhine Province. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो in Myanmar there is this region called Arakan State, and there is a province by the name called Rakhine Province of Myanmar. But the problem is, majority of the Myanmar population is Buddhist. They are Buddhist people, and the Rohingya people who are residing there, they are religiously Muslim people. So, of course, this can be seen by the people of Myanmar that they are not the originals of Myanmar. And Myanmar have its own problems. Myanmar in military coup chala hai for a long period of time. Sometime there was a democracy under Aung San Suu Kyi, but now again there is a military coup. And when there is a military dictatorship kind of rule is there, it affects minority negatively. इसका effect minority के ऊपर काफी ज्यादा होता है. And these people are technically minority Muslim people in majority Buddhist country, right? They are minority Muslim people in majority Buddhist country. If you see why these Buddhist people don't like Rohingyas, so there are multiple reasons. First is because of religion. There is a difference in the religion. Majority is Buddhist and these are Muslim people. Second is ethnicity. So if you see, these people majorly look like Indo-Aryans. That means the Rohingya people, they look like Indo-Aryans. That means Indian लोगों की तरह वो दिखाई देते हैं. Whereas the people of Myanmar, they look like Sino-Tibetan. Chinese लोगों की तरह दिखाई देते हैं, Tibetan लोगों की तरह दिखाई देते हैं. So clearly there is a difference in the way they look. So they are not having same ethnicity also. Thirdly, the people who are Rohingya people, their population is increasing, the biggest concern. Their population is increasing and eventually they are taking the job opportunities of the Rohingya people, of the majority Buddhist people. ये majority लोगों की job opportunities भी ले रहे हैं. And because of that, over the period of time, the people of Myanmar, they do not like the Rohingya people. And slowly, when military dictatorship comes in, when few laws comes in, there is an exodus, there is throwing away of this Rohingyas, which is happening from Myanmar from time to time basis. Time to time basis पे ये दिखाई देता है. So predominantly Muslim ethnic minority from Rakhine State, that is Western Myanmar. Now again one more issue is the language also, because the Buddhist people of Myanmar, they speak a dialect of Burmese language, whereas the Rohingya people, they speak a dialect of Bengali language. So all these things can clearly demarcate that these are not original people of Myanmar. They have migrated maybe from Bangladesh, maybe from India, maybe from West Bengal to the region of Myanmar. But that migration happened 200-300 years back. आज उनको वहां से निकाल देना, of course, is not a right thing. They are residing there from 300 to 400 years. So they speak a dialect related to Chittagong Bengali also, the Rohingya people. Myanmar government does not officially recognize Rohingya as one of the country's 135 recognized ethnic groups. So there are 135 ethnic groups of Myanmar, but Myanmar does not recognize these groups. And that's why they don't have legally the citizenship of Myanmar, legally the residency of Myanmar, and they have to go away from Myanmar. Myanmar, in their 1982 citizenship law, most Rohingyas were denied the citizenship of Myanmar and they became stateless. ये लोग stateless बन गए. UN repeatedly described them as one of the most persecuted minorities globally. पूरी दुनिया में उनको one of the most persecuted minority कहा जाता है. There is a restriction, no freedom of movement, no voting rights, no educational rights, no healthcare rights. Then what is the purpose of staying in Myanmar for them? Plus, when the military dictatorship will come in, military rulers, military army people, police people will try to kill them, will try to rape their wives or the daughters. So there is no point of Rohingya people staying in Myanmar. And they are around 3.5 million Rohingyas have dispersed all over the world. That means around 35 lakh. If the official number is 35 lakh, for sure they are 70 lakh. ना जो भी ऑफिशियल नंबर होता है उससे तो चीजें डबल ही होती है, बट ऑफिशियल नंबर इज मोर देन 3.5 लाख रोहिंग्यास आर देयर व्हिच आर dispersed from the region of Myanmar, and within that majority of the people are residing in the world's biggest refugee camp that is there in the region of Cox's Bazar of Bangladesh, where you can see around 12 to 13 लाख रोहिंग्या पीपल, 12 से 13 लाख रोहिंग्या लोग आपको यहाँ पे देखने मिलेंगे. Rakhine State borders Bangladesh, mainly having Naf River. Remember the name Naf River. So these people travel from this region of Myanmar to Naf River to Bangladesh to India to Malaysia to Indonesia. So I will show you once again. यहाँ पे मान लो these people are staying, right? This is the Rakhine State where they are there. This is the Cox's Bazar region, which is there in Bangladesh. तो बांग्लादेश में बना हुआ है Cox's Bazar region. Here we have the biggest refugee camps in the world. पूरे दुनिया के one of the biggest refugee camps है, और वो सिर्फ यही नहीं रहते, they migrate to different parts. यहाँ से आप देख सकते हो, they are going to Cox's Bazar, but they are not staying only in Cox's Bazar. They are migrating from this Rakhine State to Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Bangladesh, West Bengal, to even Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia. इन सारे देशों में they are traveling from this region. यहाँ से ये जाते हैं बाहर. Many a times these people, अगर आप देखो यहाँ से Rakhine State से they are traveling to the countries like Malaysia. It's a very long distance, and many people die in between. Many people while traveling from this region to Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal से travel करते हुए, these people die in boat and they are not accepted by these countries. That's why United Nations many a times, many articles call them as the boat people. इनको कई बार the boat people नाम से भी जाना जाता है. They are also called as the boat people because they are traveling on boats trying to find out some place to stay, and eventually the countries are denying them entry. Even the biggest Muslim population in the world, Indonesia, they also denied the Rohingya Muslims to reside in Indonesia. And eventually these people die on the boats. That's why they are called as the boat people. This is the status of these Rohingya people. Now let's see the history of Myanmar. कि Myanmar में इनको over the period of time, how many times, how they are persecuted. But tell me in the chat box, everything till here is clear? यहाँ तक सारी चीजें clear है? Great. So how many of you know about the 10x GK tour? सबको पता है ना 10x GK tour is happening to improve your GK preparation by 10x. So first leg announce हो चुका है, register करना है तो कर लो. 5th से we are starting with the first leg of the 10x GK tour. So from where the Rohingyas originally, they are from the region of Bangladesh only, but they went to Myanmar 300-400 years back. The history is during the British era, even Myanmar was a part of their empire. So at that time there was no separate Myanmar, there was no separate Bangladesh, there was no separate India. Everything was part of British India. So at that time even Britishers took many people to Burma also, to Myanmar. Myanmar was earlier called as Burma. तब रह रहे इतने साल से तो वहां के हो गए यार. Simple. Now historical background if we see, part 1 पे आते हैं पहले. So historically, during the colonial era, these people migrated. Migration from Bengal and Arakan increased. Rohingyas settled in the region of British administration, which is in Myanmar also. Myanmar, which was called as Burma. So for employment, for work, they migrated in the region of Myanmar or Burma, settled there. 1948, Myanmar gets independence and ethnic tensions between the Buddhist Rakhine and Rohingya Muslims starts happening. 1962, Myanmar have a military coup, right? Myanmar में military coup होता है. Burman Buddhist nationalists strengthened. Rohingyas were excluded from the political representation after 1962. In 1978, this is very important, Operation Nagamin. Myanmar military drives 2 lakh Rohingya into Bangladesh, which is the first mass exodus. So when is the first mass exodus of Rohingya people happened? It happened in the year 1978. Then the operation was called as Operation Nagamin. Operation Nagamin. In 1982, the Myanmar citizenship law was enacted. 135 recognized ethnic group were there, but Rohingyas were not there, and they were now called as stateless people. वो लोग stateless बन चुके थे. 1991-92, there is a second mass exodus happened. Around 2.5 lakh people left to Bangladesh because of military crackdowns. In 2012, another communal riot happens in this region and more than 1 lakh people were displaced. After 2001, यहाँ पे आपको क्या याद रखना है? 1978, Operation Nagamin. 1982, there's citizenship law. Myanmar citizenship law is there. Then, after 2012, we can see genocide happening. Of course, these kind of killings of your people, if it is happening, अगर आप रोहिंग्या होते और आपके इतने सारे लोगों को, भाइयों बहनों को, माँ बाप को मारा जाता, of course you would have also have a rebellion in you, and that might result that you will involve in illegal activities, bad activities, terrorist related activities. And that's what happened with the Rohingya people also. There was creation of ARSA, that is Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army. ARSA नाम का एक terrorist organization बना लिया गया by these Rohingya people, and this ARSA attacked on the Myanmar की military. And of course, in response, Myanmar launches a big operation on these people. As a result, in August 2017, more than 7 lakh Rohingyas fled to Bangladesh in a month. And United Nations calls this as a textbook ethnic cleansing. ICC and ICJ cases were opened in this. A small country by the name called Republic of Gambia filed a case in ICJ against Myanmar. म्यांमार के खिलाफ आईसीजे में केस की जाती है by a small country called Gambia, and this is the wrong which is happening in 2019. Of course, verdict came in, but as I said in the 4 PM class थोड़े टाइम पहले ही, यूनाइटेड नेशन क्या है? इट्स a toothless tiger, useless tiger, and because of that, United Nations का court ICJ orders Myanmar to protect Rohingya people from genocide. Myanmar denies all the charges and more exodus happens of these people. In February 2021, there is again coming up of military rule in Myanmar and going of Aung San Suu Kyi. She was arrested. She is one of the presidents of Myanmar and the recipient of Nobel Peace Prize also. इन्होंने किया था 8888 revolution in Myanmar to bring democracy in Myanmar, that is 8th of August 1988 revolution, and she is one of those persons जिन्होंने अपनी ज्यादातर लाइफ हाउस अरेस्ट में बिताई है, and that's why she was given Nobel Peace Prize. But later on, for ethnic cleansing of Rohingya people, she is the same person who was charged with genocide. Now, in 2023, Arakan army launches more offensive against Myanmar's junta or Myanmar's military. Rohingyas were caught between two armed forces, and eventually Arakan army versus the Myanmar military. Eventually, Rohingya people are facing the crisis. 2024-25, fresh wave of Rohingya displacement happens. Bangladesh camps swell to 12 to 13 lakh people. Funding crisis होता है. Only 28% of UN appeal was made. है ना. यूनाइटेड नेशन ने जितना पैसा मांगा था बांग्लादेश में उसका सिर्फ 28% दिया गया था to make these people survive. In 2026, now these people are there in India also. They are residing in India also. West Bengal में जब बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट आई, because what these people try to do, they come from Myanmar to the region of Bangladesh, and Bangladesh cross करके they enter in India, mainly in West Bengal, along with even Bangladeshi illegal immigrants that we have. Now in 2026, we have a BJP government which says detect, delete and deport, and if they are not able to deport, keep them in holding centers, and even their reverse exodus, that is इंडिया से वापस बांग्लादेश, हो सकता है बांग्लादेश से वापस म्यांमार जाना पड़े उन्हें, where they have to face lot of problems and they will die, right? अगर हम 1982 सिटीजनशिप लॉ की बात करते हैं, from Myanmar, the root cause for Rohingya crisis is this 1982 Act, which was enacted by Myanmar's military regime. They said 135 groups are there, national races, but there was no Rohingya. They became stateless. They are stateless. They don't have passport. They don't have legal entity. They don't have voting rights. They cannot freely move within Myanmar. They are denied basic healthcare services. This is the basic cause, basic root cause for the exodus of Rohingya people. 2017 exodus जिसकी हम बात कर रहे थे, where Myanmar military launched operation, that is clearance operation on ARSA, Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army. Now what exactly happens? अगर आपने terrorist group को join भी कर लिया, बना भी लिया, because of this ARSA, many Rohingya people are dying because everybody is not in ARSA, and of course Myanmar's military is more powerful than ARSA, and in the name of ARSA, Myanmar military is now killing Rohingya people also. आपकी मिलिट्री किलिंग के नाम पे, बिकॉज यू हैव टेकन अप आर्म्स अगेंस्ट म्यांमार, म्यांमार को आरसा ने राइट दे दिया टू किल रोहिंग्या पीपल, एंड दैट्स व्हाई टेकिंग अप आर्म्स अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट इज नेवर अ सॉल्यूशन टू अ प्रॉब्लम. Creating a terrorist organization is not going to be a solution. If you create a terrorist organization, eventually your citizens, your civilians are going to die. Whether you take an example of Afghanistan or of Syria or of Iraq or of Yemen or of Lebanon, किसी भी देश का example ले लो, और गाजा, because there was a terrorist organization by the name called Hamas. आज की डेट में गाजा स्ट्रिप पूरा खाली हो चुका है. The people of Palestine are facing problems because of Hamas, right? So, August 2017, military clearance operation was launched by Myanmar against Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army. It was a counter-terrorism measure which was taken by Myanmar, but United Nations called it as a genocide, right? United Nations ने उसे genocide कहा. United Nations described it as a textbook example of ethnic cleansing. ICC opened the investigation of crime against humanity. ICJ heard the allegation of genocide. This case is still going on in 2026. They have even given judgment against the Myanmar government and asked them to protect these people. But that is not happening. Now let's talk about India. The history of Rohingya people clear है, so that we can talk about the Rohingya people in India also. Great. So now, when we talk about these Rohingya people, Rohingyas in India, firstly, do we have refugees in India? Yes, we have very big number of refugees in India. One of the highest number of refugees in South Asia is in India. Whether they are Rohingyas, whether they are Bangladeshi refugees, whether they are refugees from Afghanistan, Pakistan, from China, Tibet region, we do have refugees. But the problem is, India don't have a definition of refugee. India don't accept the United Nations definition of refugee. India is not a signatory to any of the conventions of United Nations on refugee. Then why do we accept these refugees? That is the biggest problem that India have. Rohingya refugees in India, when we see the information, they are settled majorly in Jammu region, then Delhi, Hyderabad, West Bengal, Assam, and India estimate 10 of thousands of Rohingyas which are present. But if we talk about International Convention on Refugees and all, India is not a signatory to 1951 Refugee Convention or 1967 Refugee Protocol. इनमें से किसी को भी इंडिया ने साइन नहीं किया है. When we talk about West Bengal, why these people are majorly settling? Rohingya people India में West Bengal में क्यों settle हो रहे हैं? So West Bengal is already having 35 million Muslim population. That is 3.5 crore Muslim population is there. Right? 3.5 crore का Muslim population is there. Linguistic, cultural ties with Bangladesh, and it is very difficult to identify them because इनका कल्चर, बांग्लादेशी मुस्लिम्स का कल्चर एंड द रोहिंग्यास का कल्चर. सो द मुस्लिम्स ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल, मुस्लिम्स ऑफ बांग्लादेश, मुस्लिम्स ऑफ रोहिंग्या रीजन, they all have very similar culture, very similar looks, very similar dialect that they speak. Culture same है, religion same है, ethnicity same है, race same है, language similar है, and because of that they gel up with these people. बहुत अच्छे से इनमें mix भी हो जाते हैं, पता भी नहीं चल पाता. Entry route: Rohingyas enter via Bangladesh, cross the porous India-Bangladesh border, which is more than 4,000 kilometers. India's biggest border, land border that we have, is with Bangladesh, and they eventually settle in the border districts of India and Bangladesh. The key districts where they are there is North 24 Pargana, Murshidabad, and Malda. All are Bangladesh bordering districts. राइट, सारी की सारी बांग्लादेश को बॉर्डर करने वाले डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं. नाउ व्हाट इंडिया सेज अबाउट दीस पीपल? तो इंडिया का ये कहना है कि दीस पीपल आर सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट फॉर इंडिया बिकॉज मेनी ऑफ देम आर सेटलिंग इन द रीजन ऑफ जम्मू एंड फ्यू ऑफ देम आर एसोसिएटेड विद टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस लाइक आरसा, व्हिच इज गेटिंग सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ऑफ पाकिस्तान, and eventually they might get support against India also. They might get involved in the terrorist organizations which are working against India also. That's why they are security threat for India, as said by Home Minister and the Ministry of Home Affairs. The first security concern that we have is many Rohingyas are found with forged Aadhaar card and forged voter ID. तो भैया वोटर आईडी झूठे बना लिए, आधार कार्ड झूठे बना लिए. They are security concern because Rohingyas network is linked to trafficking across the porous border. Human trafficking करते हैं. We are having 4,000 kilometer India-Bangladesh border, so it is very difficult to secure this. Intelligence agencies of India like Intelligence Bureau flag potential radicalization concern in the camps of Rohingya people. Assam, अगर हम बात करते हैं political and legal debate around this, security concern तो ये सारे हैं. If we talk about political and legal debate, in Assam they are also there, and Assam used NRC, National Register for Citizens, to identify the illegal immigrants, and BJP want nationwide NRC to identify these people nationwide and throw them away. We allowed, this is another important thing, जो अभी बात की जा रही है ना by the West Bengal BJP government, that the people who are there protected under CAA, they don't have to face any problem. So the CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, came in 2019, and the Citizenship Amendment Act allowed non-Muslims from 3 countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, इन 3 देशों से जो नॉन मुस्लिम्स आए हैं, they are allowed to settle in India within 5 years. They will be given citizenship of India also. It protects the non-Muslim minority from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, which of course does not include Rohingyas. That's why there is a problem. Assam का president है NRC बनाओ, then make detention camp, and eventually West Bengal is also now following the same model to detain these people. India needs to balance this humanitarian concern and national security and domestic political pressure. तीन चीजें एक साथ चल रही है. One, we have humanitarian concern or humanitarian ground. As of now, in the history of India, we don't have any definition of refugee. We don't sign any convention of United Nations. But in the history of India, we never deported any refugee. इन्हीं refugees को हम पहली बार deport कर रहे हैं. We never deported the people of Tibet region. We never deported the people of Afghan or from Pakistan, Bangladesh or Afghanistan who are non-Muslims. We are mainly deporting Muslim peoples only. So this is also happening for the first time. We have to consider the humanitarian ground. We have to think about our national security and we don't fall in the political pressure. इन तीनों चीजों को इंडिया को बैलेंस करके चलना पड़ेगा. What exactly is CAA वो यहाँ पे दे रखा है, right? Now, BJP won Bengal election. This is the first BJP government in Bengal after independence. They are saying detect, delete, and deport, and protect the people who are protected under CAA. And BSF is border fencing the 27-kilometer handed over. Then there are 23 districts which are on high alert because of this. 23 districts को क्या किया है? High alert पर डाल दिया गया है. There are holding areas which are being created for these people. इनके holding areas बनाए जा रहे हैं in the region of Malda, Murshidabad, Tetulia, right? ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे इनके holding areas बनाए जा रहे हैं and problems are increasing. छोड़िए इसको. हकीमपुर बॉर्डर में भी I think PPT को PDF कन्वर्ट करते हुए there are some errors which came in. बांग्लादेश के रिस्पॉन्स की अगर हम बात करें, so this is creating a problem. प्रॉब्लम क्या है? बांग्लादेश गवर्नमेंट एंड बांग्लादेश जो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स है, जो बांग्लादेश के गार्ड्स है, दे आर आल्सो नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग दीज पीपल. बांग्लादेश के जो बांग्लादेश सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स या बांग्लादेश के बॉर्डर गार्ड्स है, दे आर आल्सो नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग दीज पीपल एंड इवेंचुअली बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इन लोगों को देश छोड़ के जाना पड़ेगा, राइट? दीज पीपल आर इन बिटवीन, ये बीच में फंस चुके हैं. बिकॉज ऑफ दीज इश्यूज दे आर स्टक इन बिटवीन, ये बीच में फंस चुके हैं. They are stuck in between and we need to work and solve the issue of these Rohingya people. So this is majorly the issue of Rohingya. Yes. जब मैं इसको कन्वर्ट कर रहा था तो हमारा फेल हो गया सिस्टम, राइट? और पीपीटी में सब कुछ सही दे रहा है लेकिन इसने फेल कर दिया इसने इसे. एनीवेज होता है. नाउ नेक्स्ट टाइम से आई विल कीप इन माइंड ना कि इनकी डायरेक्ट पीपीटी कन्वर्ट नहीं करनी है, आपको फॉर्म क्या कहते हैं एडहॉक का यूज करना है और प्रॉपर्ली एक से उस पीपीटी को आपको पीडीएफ में कन्वर्ट करना है. नाउ दिस इज द सिचुएशन व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दिस इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट स्लाइड. इसको अच्छे से याद रखना. व्हाट आर द इंटरनेशनल लॉज एंड व्हाट इज इंडियन कोड सेइंग. नाउ दिस इज द पॉलिसी ऑफ नॉन रिफॉर्ममेंट जिसकी हम बात करते हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज नॉन रिफॉर्ममेंट दैट वी हैव टू सी वंस, राइट? सो नॉन रिफॉर्ममेंट का मतलब ये होता है, इफ यू आर अ सिग्नेटरी ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशन कन्वेंशन ऑन रेफ्यूजी, इट सेज दैट इफ यू आर अ सिग्नेटरी, अगर आप सिग्नेटरी है ऑफ दिस कन्वेंशन ऑन रेफ्यूजीज, यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू सेंड दीज पीपल बैक इन देयर कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन इफ दे आर नॉट विलिंग टू गो. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. So, United Nation declare करता है Rohingya is a refugee community. Now, if Rohingyas are coming to your country, आपके देश में Rohingyas enter कर गए, and you are signatory of United Nation का Convention on Refugee, since Rohingyas are refugee under United Nation, you are not allowed to send them back to Bangladesh or to Myanmar against their will. उनके विल के खिलाफ आप उसको वापस नहीं भेज सकते. आप उन लोगों को वापस नहीं भेज सकते. That is called as non-refoulement. That is called as non-refoulement. But the point is, India is not a signatory to any convention, so we don't have to follow this, right? हमें इसे follow करने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you have seen the movie of Shahrukh Khan, जो आई थी ना, I think on refugee के ऊपर एक शाहरुख खान की अभी मूवी आई थी. In that movie we can see that in front of court उन्हें बोला जाता है कि you accept that your life is in threat in India. आपकी लाइफ को थ्रेट है इंडिया में, इसलिए आप सेटल होना चाहते हो इन यूके. एंड he denies to do it. And अगर वो डिनाई करते हैं तो he will not get a status of refugee, and then he can be thrown back out of UK or USA, because UK USA are signatory of these treaties. And if you sign the treaty of United Nations on refugee, you accept the definition of refugee and you cannot send them back. That's why we see majority of the refugee people try to eventually enter in Europe, because majority of the European countries are those countries which are signatory of these refugee conventions. When refugee convention को you can say sign किए हुए. So that's why remember this. There is principle of non-refoulement. It prohibits forced return of refugee to the areas where they face persecution. That means once the Rohingya enters India, you cannot send them back to Myanmar, because their life is in threat in there, right? So it is enshrined in the 1951 Refugee Convention, the article number 33. India's position is India is not a signatory, but in principle we say कि हाँ हम इसको follow करते हैं, right? And many groups argue that India must still respect the non-refoulement even without signing the convention. हमें ऐसा करना चाहिए. Supreme Court of India 2025, there was a petition filed for deportation of Rohingya, was challenged in the Supreme Court. Petition argues that उनके पास Article 21 है, that is right to life. Irrespective whether they are Indian or not, they have right to life. And if they are deported to Myanmar, their life is in threat. So we should protect the right to life of Rohingya people. Union government says that they are illegal immigrants under the Foreigners Act of 1946. Plus, secondly, they are threat to India's internal security. तो हम इनको इंडिया में नहीं रख सकते, right? हम इनको इंडिया में नहीं रख सकते. And then court upheld that Article 19, that is right to reside, applies only to the citizen of India and not to the foreigners. That's why हम उनको डिपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, because they are threat to the internal security of our country. Right? Right. It is हाँ डंकी जो भी है, that is डंकी मूवी. Okay, so this is the situation of Rohingyas, and these are the Indian laws that are there on this issue. So these are the things that you should know. Last page पे अब मैं क्यों कर रहा था ना, I try to do this because I try to add this page, लेकिन ये पेज यहाँ पे बिखर चुका है. Highlighting important facts from the CLAT exam perspective एक जगह पे आ जाती, जो नहीं हो पाया. But anyways, ठीक है, इसने इसको अजीब सा कर दिया है. Next time I will try to solve this issue. Chalo, this was it for today's session. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next big news in the next week on Thursday. Till then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.